It's set to be one of the most star-studded premieres of the year. Marie Claire TV is here to spot all the celebs and get all the style from the Sex and the City 2 premiere in London. I hear you're representing the Brits tonight.
I am.
Are you a big fan of British designers?
Well, there's a long history of incredibly talented British designers, and in particular, I have, you know, very strong and sentimental feelings about Alexander McQueen. He very lovingly made my dress 2 years ago, and I didn't want to wear anybody else tonight, whether or not he had passed away. And they were gracious enough at the studio to let me borrow something tonight. And Philip Tracy made my hat again, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Here's the thing, I'm in London. It's one of the most sophisticated, exciting cities in the world, where women wear hats and they dress up. So what an opportunity.
Well, I think you've taken it well. Thank you so much for talking to us. Have a nice evening. 12 years down the line, you know, you started there right in the pilot. Did you envisage Sex and the City to be what it is today?
Never in a million years. It was a little tiny show that was funny as hell. No one knew. I certainly didn't know. I was just saying, oh, I think I'll take a walk with this and see what happens.
Are you still overwhelmed by the kind of phenomenon that it became?
It grows ever bigger, the phenomenon. It's, I don't know. I know it'll end sometime, so I'm just trying to enjoy it now.
Really? No, is there going to be an end to Mr. Big?
Well,
he's here to stay now, isn't he?
I got to keep in shape for that.
You had to deal with babies and animals all in one film. Was this your hardest Sex and the City challenge?
Ha! No, walking over that sand dune, that was way harder than babies and animals. I know it doesn't look hard, but believe me when I tell you that it was. You know, the baby certainly was a challenge. She's a wonderful baby who doesn't normally cry like that, but that was the part. And her mom would leave her with me, and that would make her cry because she's 2. So that was hard only in that, you know, you just, you know, you don't want to let a baby cry. You want to help her and make her feel better, but we had to do the scene. So that was obviously, you know, kind of a challenge. The animals aren't challenging at all. I love the animals.
And would you mind if I quickly ask what you're wearing tonight?
Sure, I'm wearing vintage Norel from the 60s.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Good. Does it feel like coming home, coming to London? I mean, you're on the
I feel like I never left. I was really gone for about 3 weeks. And the whole time I was there, I was doing press in New York, so I was barely slept in my own bed. Oh, thank you. It's really good to be here. And I'll be back in July, and then in the fall I'm doing a play in Liverpool, which is my hometown. I know, I'm so excited.
Samantha's had some pretty outrageous storylines in her time. How did you feel when they pitched menopause to you?
I thought fantastic, about time. I mean, first of all, to put a name to it instead of the change, whatever that means. And also to make it funny and make it less taboo and make it not about aging, but just another phase of life. And I think that that's a great message for women, you know, my age.
Well, it definitely does that.
It does. It really opens up. And I think that's what Sex and the City does best. It takes these taboos that women live with and it exposes them for what they are, which is just part of life. And it brings women together, I think, in a very positive way to enjoy them and talk about them and expose them for what they are. And yes, exactly. Laugh at them is the most important.
Hi, Mary. It's lovely to meet you.
Mary Claire.
Oh, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Would you mind if we start talking about that big white wedding?
The big white Busby Berkeley musical type wedding. Yes, it's amazing.
Was it very surreal? I mean, you had swans, you had Liza Minnelli. How was that to film?
Liza Minnelli was amazing to watch, and the swans scared out of me. And my sisters, my actual sisters, walked me down the aisle.
Really?
Marion and Camille. Yeah, so that was very moving for me.
It must have been amazing to bring your family on set to something like that.
Well, yeah, it was moving, and you know, they would just see it. And then, you know, because you're doing it over and over. So after the 5th take, I was like, all right, girls, go home. But, you know, at the beginning it was lovely. And I love my sisters. They're thrilled to be in it. We just did the premiere in New York, and they were there.
So with the whole family there in New York?
The whole family.
Oh
2 brothers, 2 sisters, all of us together.
And how are you enjoying London?
I love London. I came here 2 years ago. I mean, I've been here a lot, but I came here 2 years ago for this, and the fans are just incredibly, like, out of control, but in control, and loving and warm, and respectful. As crazy as they are, there's a respect and a reverence they give to you that's just beautiful. They're lovely.
Sex in the City.
Yeah, it is. I guess it is, but the balance of how it's done with them and through them is quite moving.
Thank you so
I love
much.
London.
Thank you.